Hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good something or other on the planet. Nice to be back with Stephen.
How you doing?
Not
I
quite.
missed you yesterday, but the people are going
Oh,
to see this November 2nd, so they're not going to know what yesterday is. That was October 20th.
well, I missed myself yesterday, so that's
I
uh,
know.
that's not a
I've
good.
heard that
That's
about
not
you.
a good.
Hey,
Yeah,
just so you know, our guest today, you know where our guest is from? You know where our guest is sitting right today? You know where she's
I've
from? Let me
I
say it.
have no idea. I have no idea, Stephen. But I would
New
I would
York.
hazard
I
I
mean,
would hazard a guess that she's in New York.
I was going to say she's in New York. Just so you know, because you're always, you're always telling me that I don't mention New York enough because we get a dollar every time I say it. So
Yeah.
she's in New York. Not really New York. She's in the state of, not in the city of. They live in like in
Ah.
the country in the
So
middle of like nowhere. So
ah.
like there's
So
like
that so
they live
that,
in a
that
town of like six.
so that's only 50. That's only 50 cents for the dollar then.
50 cents, right? Because it's not the city, it's the state. And the state doesn't pay well.
Yeah.
The city pays real
Yeah.
well. Anyway, I'll let you do the introduction and then we'll bring her in.
Well, it would appear that you know more about this particular lady than I do, Stephen. So I'm gonna let you do it today.
I don't know. I know nothing about the Noosh other
Well,
than
you know her
she,
name, which is more than
well,
I
I
do.
know her
I need
name.
okay,
That's what her boyfriend told me her name was. And I know her boyfriend
okay,
because we've done stuff in the past together. You know, in college we were
okay.
both drunk. We don't like to talk about it. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, we're going to bring her in and she will tell you all about the type of art she does and whatnot. What do you think of that? Are you
Yeah.
excited?
And
You
what
know,
is
you
the
look at
lady's
you.
name? Do we know that, Stephen?
Yes, I'll let
Donna,
her tell. Shauna?
Ah,
Nushana of
Nushana.
Shoshana.
Nushana.
Hello.
Nushana. Good
Michael
good
calls her
afternoon, good
Noosh, so
morning.
I call her. You know, here you go.
Oh well,
Right?
yeah, it's too long. You know, at home everybody got lazy, so everybody just calls me Nush. But
So
yeah,
would you,
Nushana of Shoshana.
Nushana or Noosh? So either way.
Either way, either
Okay.
way is fine.
Very cool. Well, then
Oh,
we're very happy to have you. I'm glad Michael got to arrange this because I remember we spoke to him about this a while ago, and now he said you were a little apprehensive. Then apparently he's got you drunk enough, and you've seen enough of our shows, and you know that we don't bite unless the day ends in a Y. So, tell us about you, what you do, and you don't have to tell us where you are in the great state of New York, but we know you're in New York. And
I mean,
tell
you
us what
probably
like
will only get 25 cents because I'm closer to Canada than I am to New York City. So this is
Oh,
yeah.
upstate.
Canada. Oh, they're
Yes.
upstate New York. Oh, there's like
Yeah,
polar bears there. Forget
we're
that.
about 4 hours north of the city. So
Wow.
yeah, this is much higher.
Oh,
What do I do? I mean, I'm an artist, I guess, a maker. That's what I always wanted to do, but my parents didn't really push me towards it because they were both very successful artists in Russia, and I mean, under the USSR. And when the wall fell, all the arts fell with the regime. You know, like no structures was really available for them to keep doing what they love. So they never really pushed me towards that, even though I started painting about when I was about what 5 or 6 years old. But with the many languages I was already speaking, and prowess in school, they were pushing me more towards something more solid. A lawyer, working for the UN, a translator. I mean, yeah, something completely boring comparing to what I do now.
So now you're an artist. So what type of art do you? So the people that don't know you, what type of art do you
So
do?
I just started actually coming back to my art through the pandemic. When I was living in the city, the thing was, whenever I was out, I really wanted to be inside and create. But whenever I was inside and creating, I wanted to be out with my friends and discover the world and enjoy the city. So I felt I was never at the right place. But with the pandemic, everybody had to stay in. And this is when I finally started doing my craft. And I did mostly through that networking group, BNI, Business
Okay.
Network International,
Okay.
which my friend started her chapter, Gratitude to Growth, which I knew would be much more different than all the BNI things that I went to that were completely boring back when I did real estate. And I got my first commission work through that group. And so, yeah, so I get to do, painting, sculpture, woodwork. Um, I send everybody a questionnaire, and depending on their answers, I propose them three different. Oh, by the way, I have the book. Anna Wintour. I learned, from the best, you need the book where all the magic happens. And I
Very
propose
cool.
them three different projects, and then I pick one, and then I make it. And that's the probably the funnest part of my work is that whatever I do, I've never done it before, so I need to figure out how to make it. So
Very nice.
pretty cool. I like it.
So do you have art that you can show us?
So so the collection that I'm working on right now, that I started for a restaurant for the city. The tiny village where
Right.
that is where next to I live.
Near Canada, the border. Yes.
Exactly,
So,
near Canada. Oh shit! I forgot to take my glasses off. I'm sorry.
but that's okay. You can leave your glasses. See, the
You
nice
can see
thing
my
is
eyes.
if you're originally from the
Um,
old USSR, or your
from the old
parents were,
USSR, exactly. Back to
right.
Canada,
Back
almost.
for you. The fact that you're near Canada is awesome because it's the same weather, -100, and there you
Oh
go.
my goodness, I love it. It's snow here for almost 6 months. It's
Very
the
nice.
best. But it's snow with sunshine, so
When I lived in
la
Miami,
crème de la
it
crème, as
snowed
they
every
say in
day, but
France.
that was another snow, I think. But anyway, yes. So
But so yeah, for that restaurant, I did some pieces that I donated for them that are part of the permanent collection
okay,
because they have all their wall filled with art that they sell, but I wanted something that stays there, you know, that has the imprint of the place. And I thought of doing fun, whimsical portraits of animals. So the first two I made for them, I don't know if you can see. Let me see, hold on.
there we go. Oh, very pretty.
Okay.
So this
So
is
these,
like an aristocratic pig who's, you know, going
oh,
away. You're just like making soap bubbles.
Wait,
yeah,
bring
I've
that
met a
one
few.
back. Bring that one back so we
Oh,
can take a
all
look.
right.
There you go. Now I can see the pig. Okay, before I
Yeah,
wasn't sure what it was. That is very
Yeah.
cool.
I've met a few of
So
those in the past.
I know.
so
You
this.
probably work with
I'm
one.
sorry.
So he says he works with one of those people.
You
Anyway,
do.
so
My God, lucky you. I mean, I have him across the street now, and then I made him a wife. If you can see, like she's a lady storch who's taking her
oh,
snail to the restaurant.
Okay.
very
And
cool.
So this is
these are
how my whole
watercolors?
collection of whimsical floofiness, as Michael called it, you know, he's the marketing guy,
Right.
appeared. And basically everything that I'm doing is now coming out of the frame. It's not painting anymore. It's fabrics and leathers and furs, and it's coming out. I'd love to show you, but since my phone is duct taped to the wall, I'll just show you my most amazing one, which is right there.
That's
She's
okay. You can go get it, and we'll put the camera on all
yeah,
three of us,
eventually.
and
But
David and
she's
I will
a
entertain people.
sheep that is knitting clouds out of herself, out of her own wool. So it's like an
Okay.
inspiration.
Oh, this we have
So
to
yeah,
see. Can you show it to us?
I'll show it to you at the end because then I can duct tape you back. You'll have to wait.
What good is Michael if he can't stand there and hold the phone for you, a world
I
famous
mean,
artist?
you know, we actually thought about it, but I just asked him to put his headphones so I can have, you know, I can be in the zone with just you two guys.
Okay, no worry, because Michael's very distracting. He'll be waving at her all the time.
Exactly.
Mention me,
You know, he'll make
mention me.
faces.
So that's very cool. All right, so your parent now, were you born USSR or just them?
So I would know. I was born in Moscow.
Okay.
In '86, and then we left Russia right before the wall fell.
Okay.
My mom, God bless her, so we couldn't leave the country unless somebody legally invites us to go anywhere. So you
Right.
can't just like, you know, get a visa and go back then. And my mom always dreamt to leave to France, but she didn't know anybody there. Her grandmother used to tell her, you know, like how they used to get oysters, you know, sent from France for them for Christmas. So it's been always that kind of dreamy, amazing life that her family had like a couple of generations ago. And so she found going through boxes some old love letters of my father writing to a French professor before they met.
Okay.
So my mom, when he came back from work or from wherever, he was livid because he recognized the letters in her hands. She's like, my God, it was before you, don't worry. She's like, forget it. Call her and ask her to invite us, send us an invitation to go to France, which she did. And this is why we ended up going to France when I was, 2 or 3 years old.
Very nice. So what do you consider yourself then? Russian, France, do you France, Russian, French, US, or just a
Russian.
citizen of the planet?
I think I'll be Russian because, I do have the Slavic soul, the emotions, you know. But I grew up, I spent 20 years in France, you know, before coming here. So it's a substantial amount of time on the land to have it imbibed in you, I guess.
Very cool.
Yeah. And where were you living in France?
So we, again, by the chance of my mother's luck, so she was part of the very, like, one folkloric band, the only folkloric band they had that was taken care of by the government when the USSR was in place, and so quite famous. And that lady that my father used to be romantically involved with
Ooh. Do we have the
arranged
letters?
for
Can we read the
her.
letters? That would be awesome. Can we
Oh
read
my
the letters?
god! I wonder if we still have them. That would be cool.
It'd be like, I loved you when
Uh,
you lifted your long, ankle length skirt up like an inch so I could see your ankles. So that's the kind of, I think, erotic
I
novelty that they
mean,
probably did back then. So,
No,
I think that
it
was a few
sounds more like the
centuries
stuff
ago,
you're
but
still
I
reading,
like the
Stephen, I
idea.
think.
yes, it's the stuff I'm still reading Harold Roberts and Harlequin
Uh,
Quinn and stuff. So yes, it's very
Yeah.
exciting for me.
hmm. But
So,
so that lady, yeah, she arranged for my mother to sing a few concerts, and the
wow.
third concert my mother sang was in a castle where David Ogilvy from Ogilvy and Mather,
Sure.
the advertising company, lived, and he
Yeah.
was so enamored with us. He offered for us to stay until we figured things out, and we became part of the family. I grew up with David. I mean, for 15 years, I was there with the family in a castle in France.
Yeah, it's a tough life. If you
After
have to, if you
dating.
have to grow up, you want to grow up in a castle in France, not Transylvania, because I've
I
read the
mean,
books. So,
I mean, it was, yeah, uncanny luck that we really had. But yeah, that was absolutely lovely to grow up there. My father hated it though. The French, the friends, the language, the cheese, the wine. He like, yeah, it was not his cup of tea at all. His dream was
that
to go to the States, and
ah,
the deal was, we help the family with whatever we need to do. I mean, around the house, it's humongous, obviously. And my father was in charge for the winters to do the fires, like for the fireplace,
right.
and he always used to read the newspapers before burning them. It would take a while for him to get all the fires going. But he read that there was a lottery for the green card, and he applied and he won when I was 9. That's the only reason why I'm here. Luck
Okay.
again.
I thought it was because you were there for Michael, but that's all right. We'll tell Michael it's for him, but
Yeah.
you won't tell him the truth. He won't see this interview. He's never seen any of the other shows. What does he know? So where are you showing? Like, if somebody wants to see your work other than the website, where do they go?
So, I mean, the thing is, I always wanted, because I'm not very crazy about, Instagram and all of those. It takes so much out of an artistic life, or at least me. Some people are good at it. It's part of their lives. Maybe the younger generations. I don't know. Me, I did one story on Instagram, and it took me 8 hours. I mean, to be fair, it's a 5.5 minute story.
Right.
It's not like just the 15 seconds that apparently everybody has only time for 15 seconds now. I didn't know. I wanted to make a whole beautiful story about how I made this commission for a hippo, Mr. Hippocondriacus. He's Greek.
Of course.
But I mean, you should go look at the story. It's absolutely beautiful. And I tell the story on how I started painting him, and I fell in love with him so much that I made him a wife that I get to keep, and she's actually here. I have her by my side. Let's see. Let's see if you can see her.
Very cool.
So
Oh,
it's
nice.
slate,
Right.
like she's held by leather, and all of her outfit is made of it's silk and leather, and I don't know le daim. Comment on dit le daim en anglais? I don't remember how you
That
say that in English.
that is
But
very, very, very,
and
very cool.
semi-precious stones and gems, depending on the budget. Then I I add more time and sometimes jewels, and the one that I'm gonna be doing, the best one is, I don't know. Can you see that big frame behind me? That golden frame. Let's see.
Yes,
Yes, there you go.
we can
So
we can
I
see it.
go around shopping for frames
Okay.
because I only want to use antique stuff, or if I can reuse fabrics. And this is, I mean, it's thick like this. You cannot
Right.
see it very much, and it's probably 40 pounds. This is from the 19th century. This is my most prized possession so far, but this is going to be a portrait of a snail coming out of clouds. And
Okay.
she's going to have this beautiful harness that I'm going to be making out of gold and silver with rubies and emeralds. And then she'll have chains holding her little house. How do you call it? Her shell. But it's not going to be a shell anymore. It's going to be a hot air balloon that I'm going to be making out of those fabrics that are discontinued.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah.
apparently nobody has $700 a yard. I mean, for a yard of fabric. Like all those amazing houses of craftsmanship are closing up because, well, China's taking over cheap stuff that looks the same. So, but
Cheap,
I get
cheap.
to use those bits and pieces to put them in my art, which is fantastic.
People like cheap. So is that piece you're going to make with the snail and the big frame behind you? Is that
Yeah.
a commission piece, or is that
No,
I'm just doing it out of love?
No, this is all. When I did the pig, Mr. Bubbles, and
Right.
his wife for that restaurant, everybody loved it so much. I sat one night and I decided just to scribble, whatever animals. So I took, 50 pages. I wrote down all the animals that I like. I had 44, 45, and then it took me an hour to figure out what kind of whimsical animal portrait I want to do. So
Cool.
I have 4 that are done, so I have 41 left to do.
I love it.
Yes.
You did say you weren't very excited about social media. Well, we're not either. We just do like bits and bobs. But what we have
Mm.
found is that some of our artists have been making these little reels. I think they are on the. Is that right, Stephen, or
Yep.
shorts?
The short, we call them
Or
shorts, but they call them reels on YouTube.
yeah,
Oh, it's on
or reels.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been sort of doing it as they've been producing the art. And what we've
Oh,
found
like
is
time
that
lapses?
No, no, no. Well, you can do a
well,
time lapse,
no,
and then we
no,
have some
just
artists that literally
yeah,
send us like a 35-second short of some of their art,
yeah,
and we
Mm.
post it. And one of
and
them,
that's been
Connor
very
Akers,
successful.
yeah,
Yeah, they're very
Okay.
successful. People really like those because they're interested. Not they're everybody's interested in the art, but they're
Mm.
even people are interested in art, but they're fascinated by how the art is made.
right.
On how to make it.
Um,
Yeah, people keep telling me
yeah,
this. I should start
yeah.
showing.
And I'm sure that Stephen will definitely post them. That's he's we do that. He does it regularly for quite a lot of the artists that
Mm.
we've already interviewed. So yeah,
Nice.
have a thought about that. Maybe talk about that offline to see the best way to do it.
Yeah, we
But
talked to
I
Mike.
think
I talked to Michael about it. You know how Michael is. You know, he's
I
so
mean, he
self.
even got me a few months ago, that thing that everybody uses on YouTube. I don't know how you call it, but you put your phone and it's a circle of lights
Oh,
and you
the
look.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we're not that professional. Basically, I've got 2 gerbils in a cage behind me, running really quick to keep the power going.
Who's a
And
gerbil? Isn't that an
David,
animal? I don't even know what that is.
it's an animal. Ask Richard Gere. But
You have to
anyway,
dribble. Like, this
um,
is what I imagine. When you told me dribble, I imagine 2 gerbils like holding something for
they're
you.
they're little animals holding it. And
Exactly.
in Holland, where David is, he's got a little Dutch boy that's holding. Keep doing this with the windmills, so it keeps
yeah, I
going around. So.
thought you were going to say they had his finger in the dike, but we'll move away from
Well, I
that one.
was going to say that, but then, but bump, we're here till Thursday,
Um,
chicken and wait staff, and to try
exactly.
the veal.
No, I mean, crazy as it sounds, the mic of my laptop and the setup here is running on green energy, so it's running on windmill energy.
Kermit the
Wow.
Frog. Oh, I'm sorry.
So the more the wind blows, the cheaper the electricity. That'll happen until tomorrow afternoon, and then
So
all the prices all the
Good
prices
idea.
go through the roof. But so that's another story. But yeah,
I
so
mean, I have a lot of wind here. Maybe I can do something.
you should.
yeah, yeah,
Because I can
Michael's a
tell you
handy
that they.
guy. They might
I'm
have
sorry?
Michael build a little wind thing. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, exactly. I can make a really cute one.
yeah.
I mean, the
You
yeah.
could
whole
do.
idea, by the way, we're running internet just for this interview today, but I wanted my whole space to have no internet. I have no reception from my phone. And I
Right.
just wanted to get a rotary phone, like the one that you
Yep.
put
The
on your ear
old-fashioned
and
kind.
hold the
Sure.
stick. That was my dream. But I guess now I need to come to terms that I live in 2022 and I need to put internet in my space. Actually, I
Yeah.
even need to put internet for the rotary phone. There's no phone lines, I heard, that just go for the
No,
phone.
No, I think it's what.
no.
Yeah, especially where you live up near Canada. What do you have up there? A couple of bears and a moose, and some girls that don't.
Yeah,
That's
got to
about it.
rub a couple of sticks together to to get some sparks to get electricity running. So
Oh, I could,
yeah,
I'm good
But
with sticks. I can
you
figure
know
something
that we
out.
could go. This is a whole nother show if we start going down that path. Anyway, so all right. So back to my original question. If someone sees this, and we have 12 fans globally, so you never know. And a lot of fans out of Russia. So you could say hello to all your countrymen before we go in their mother tongue.
Oh,
Um,
well, здравствуйте.
there you go.
yeah.
So how
Well, you
can
could
you?
just say hello and welcome to the Two Old Farts show in Russian. That would be a real first. Can we
I
do that?
only learned Russian with my parents, so I wouldn't even know how to say that. I
She
only
has,
have proper Russian,
She
she
proper
doesn't
has,
know how
family
to.
style Russian.
Is she? Are you telling her she doesn't know how to say fart in Russian? I can't believe that.
that's not proper Russian.
Oh,
No, but an
okay.
old fart is an expression. Like if I
Right.
would say old fart, it would mean nothing. I mean, people will look at me
Like she's on
unsettled.
drugs.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they.
She look at it like she's one of the old farts because we're on
Yeah.
meds. That would be how that would look. No, it's funny. When
Well,
I
there
went
you
to
go.
Russia for a business deal, we would say to our client in the morning, "Good morning," and their
Mm.
translator would say, 4 hours of we said just a good morning, and we'd be like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup," and we'd look at our watch, and like 10 minutes later, he would respond. And
Yeah.
10 minutes later, I said, "What did he say?" And she would say, "Good morning." And I was like,
Good morning.
"Really?" It's like, I literally, it's 2 words in our language. I don't know what it is in Russian.
Oh
Apparently,
my
it's
goodness.
a book. So that was funny. So back to my original thing. Enough about Russia,
Yes.
which is having some issues right now. So if I want to hire you, they'll, as David likes to go, there'll be links here so people can reach out to you. But if somebody wants to see your art, how do they, or let's say if they want to hire you to do a commission piece, how does that work? And if they want
So
to see your
usually
art, how
they
does
will
that work?
email me.
Okay.
I since recently I have. Oh my god, is this for like Michael?
This is a good thing we didn't do this live. So wait,
I'm
so
having
tell
a
them your
duct tape
website. Do you know your
situation.
website
Sorry,
address?
everybody.
Do you
I'm
know your
putting my
website
meds to
address?
work.
Yeah.
Well, you have your headphones. Here, go get the duct tape together. Go. Pardon me, gentlemen.
Well,
And
That's
ladies.
okay.
yeah.
No,
Well,
so Noosh,
it's fun. It's fun to have a couple of ducks on the show. Really, this
I
morning.
know.
So
It's
we
good to
got
have an
a couple.
assistant, I can tell you that.
Here we go.
But so,
Oh,
if
let's
you
hope you
do
don't
want to.
always live in his shadow.
Yeah, oh my goodness, you can see my face without the burning sun. I completely miscalculated. Baby, stay there!
Yeah, Mike, I
Yeah.
told you, use him as, like, use him what he's good for.
Just
Have him hold
stand
the
there like a
phone.
parasol.
Yeah, that's all. Like, if daddy holds your purse when you go out, let him hold your phone now. What's the big deal? So,
I mean, it's not the phone. I'm really liking the shade now.
I know, right? I told you, just use him. It's fine.
All right, but so yeah, if you do want a piece of my art, I do have a website that is. I mean, it's just the basics, but at least I have something, a few pieces, and then you can just put your email and then contact me.
And it's streaming below as we speak, but you can't see that because it's on your phone. But below it says your website address.
Oh my goodness, NooshAnna.com. Look at this technology. I do like technology. It's very convenient.
Today she likes
When
it.
it
Tomorrow
works.
she'll be like, Michael, burn the house down. I want no technology.
I guess
So,
there you go. It is good for something. But the thing is, like, yeah, going back just very briefly to social media and all
Right.
of that. So my whole premise when I started the business, I don't want to advertise it too much. I don't want to be on Instagram all the time. I don't want to be killing trees and printing business cards and putting flyers. And no, I want to be. This is what I do, and from the people that know what I do and talk about me, like it used to be done, word to mouth.
right.
And the thing is, what I do,
Well,
I mean, I do have some people in the arts and that own galleries, and my
you
friend
realize,
in
of course,
Paris.
that coming onto this show is now going to make you an international star.
I mean,
So
to be honest, I don't want to be an international star.
It's too late for that. It's
Wrong
too
show.
late for
So
that.
much work. I think I'm too lazy to be an international
Too late
star.
for that.
It's so much.
We've got people all over the globe watching this.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I do want to be an international star. I mean, I'm not that lazy.
When the checks roll in for the commissions, she'll be like, "Well, I'll have to rethink this international stardom thing." So,
Yeah.
No, but there are different types of artists. I see there are artists that they make something and they just want to produce, and it's a money making thing.
right.
Of course, I need to live and I need to make money, and I do believe that my pieces are valuable from like the lifelong learning that I did, and the technique and the people that I know that do own galleries. They told me like, my God, Noosh, like this is amazing. Like this is it for you. Like this is finally you found your niche.
Right.
So
Or your noosh. Either way.
my noosh.
You
my
can find
niche
your
noosh.
noosh.
My
There you
niche
go.
nook.
There you go.
Exactly. I did find my niche nook, but I don't want this to become I don't want to lose the artist in the business, which I
Right.
see very often they do. I don't want that. I want to take my pace, and part of my process is to just stay with the piece and observe and see how she feels. For the sheep, for the face.
Right.
I had to sit with her, and then I saw her face. I usually actually see all my things, all the projects that I do for my clients. They appear to me in dreams after I read their questionnaire. it just appears in my dreams, and then I wake up in the morning and start sketching, which is
Okay.
kind of cool, I have to say.
You should actually live in Austin, not where near Canada. But go ahead. So,
But yeah. So I mean,
It's going to be a dilemma for you, isn't it? Because you know, as an artist,
mm,
for other people to understand it and other people to be excited about it and excited about you, means they're going to come and knock on that door again.
mm,
And they're going to tell other people about it, and other people are going to come and knock on your door.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's yeah, for
I
somewhere
mean,
along the
also,
line,
yeah.
you
I mean, the one thing that I forgot to say is, so for the first time ever, which I could never afford to have, 1,200 square feet of my own space in the city, which I have now since August. I have my own space. It's beautiful. I work here with mother. I have a cellar where I can. It's probably as big as here. I have a garden. I have the person that gives me all those bits of fabrics from discontinued amazing companies is across the street. I have my hardware store across the street. I have some clients that are here across the street. And I have a florist right next door to me, which I always wanted to do since I was a kid. That's kind of like the first, job I did. When I was at the castle, we had tourists coming 2 or 3 times a week, and I would gather flowers and sell it to them, to make a little money. But I was wanted to be a florist until I grew up and realized how hard it is to be a florist.
oh
And then
yeah,
I changed my mind.
hard work.
yeah.
But now I have it right here.
Yeah,
So you
So
yeah.
literally have everything you want. So let me ask you this. So they fill
finally,
out the questionnaire, they get it, you'll have a dream, you make it. So so from that process,
yeah.
um, what's an average price of your work? And then how long, like if I say, you know what, I want you to make whatever, and I send you this
Mm,
questionnaire and you're like, I've got it, I know exactly what to make you. So
mm.
how long does that take? Like once you say, I've got it, and then how long does it take for you actually to make the art?
So it really depends on. Obviously the size.
Right.
Um, the size and what they want me to use. If it's a painting, it can be anything from 1 week to a month. I don't do very, very large scale paintings yet. So
Are they
so it would take me a
watercolors
one
that you?
week to 1 month to make it.
Okay.
After I
Are these
actually
watercolors you're
deciding which
using,
ones. I'm sorry?
or are they watercolors or
I do
oil?
I do I do watercolors, I do acrylic. I don't do oil yet because that's a much longer process that I'm
Yeah,
not quite. I've been dabbling here and there, but
yeah. But
I
you
need
can't
a
make a
better
lot.
setup
You can't
itself.
make a lot of mistakes with watercolors, though. That's the thing. Huh?
No, actually, it depends. It depends on the technique because the oil you can always just like scrape it off and then
Yeah,
go back to it
but
because acrylic if you
but
mess it up.
the watercolors are, are always considered to be some of the most difficult to do
Oh
because
my
you can't
goodness,
make
yes, I
yeah,
did
you
this
can't make any
promotion.
mistakes. Yeah,
I did this promotion last month. Was it last month or 2 months ago? Because I just got the space. I wanted to get a little bit of cash flow, so I offered. And watercolors is not my primary situation, but I offered two watercolors for like small watercolors for I don't remember the price, 333. Anyway, but it took me forever. I made no money on it at all because it took me forever to do it and redo it and find the way and I used the wrong paper. It ended up being amazing because so the watercolors the way that I did it because usually I always show the sketch of what I'm doing and those ones were just they had to tell me three things like one sentiment, one color, and then one visual thing and I would make up something from whatever they give me and they all absolutely loved it. They were all mesmerized. So it was definitely worth it. But and it's part of the fun. As I told you, whenever I start, I don't know what I'm doing, which is so much fun and so inspiring. You're one with the elements. I remember the first place I ever done was for the neo-political cowgirls of East Hampton. It's a theater company out there, and she's one of the members of my BNI group, and she needed a trophy of the Andromeda sisters. And I've never drew or made a face ever in my life before. And well, you can see it because it's not a white background. I'll show you at the end when you see the sheep because she's right under the sheep. But I
Cool.
made out of one wire, one continued wire, I made an Andromeda. after a few, obviously, here tweaks and things, but I watch my fingers do. And when they stop, it's done. It's just so magical.
That's very cool. So if somebody wants to do it, they go to your website, they fill out a questionnaire, and then after you read their questionnaire, do you tell them what the commission piece would be?
I offer them 3 very different projects.
Okay.
So they can, they have something to choose. Usually they like all 3 of them. But they can't afford all 3, so they do have to pick one. And for the pricing, so yeah, it depends on the size, it depends on the material, it depends on the technique. So it can vary. I mean, it can go from a few $100 for, I mean, really, I don't know. It depends.
That's
It really
very
depends
cool.
on what we're talking about. I
Well,
mean,
it's very.
the snail that I'm going to be doing here, since it's going to have, some serious metal and gem work. I mean, this is going to be probably in the 5 digits. So.
Ooh, we want to see
Yeah.
when it's done. You have to come back.
Oh
Have
no,
Michael.
absolutely.
Have Michael arrange
I
it.
cannot wait. I cannot wait to do it. Like she's gonna like the backing is gonna be blown glass. So it's gonna be
Okay.
a sheet of glass and the what is it? The cloud is gonna be blown within the glass. And
Oh
the
wow.
snail is gonna come out of it in a hot air balloon form. I can't wait. Oh my god.
I'm very excited. No, when it's done, you need to have us, or halfway through, you need to have us come back and explain it all so that everybody can see it and they can watch the process.
I would love that.
Yep.
I
So
would absolutely love that.
Yeah, after you make these shorts as you're producing the artwork, like I say, people love art, but they're fascinated by
by the process.
by
Mm.
the process, and crazy. But it is. We will say to people as well, it's a little bit of intellectual property you can take with you, because if you've got that on your phone and you
Mm.
just say, and you just talking to people, say, hey, I saw this, did you know that, have you seen what this lady's doing? She's doing
Mm.
this, she's doing that with the art. And
Mm.
yeah, people love to share that. It's like, yeah.
You
So
know,
we really encourage you to try and make as many of these little films as you can, and as regularly as you can, because I think you'll find that people come and ask you all sorts of different questions as well about it.
I mean,
Like, oh,
while you're saying this, I mean, it finally just clicked with me because I have been following this amazing Italian artist that I don't remember the name of. I'm absolutely terrible, but she makes, I wouldn't say that, similar to me, but we kind of like in the same, I guess, family of artists. She takes art and it goes outside of the frame. She makes those very thick, those very three-dimensional on beautiful old frames of something that just steps out. Or let's say, like one piece of art is a young, like an old painting of a lady holding a thing of water, but she replaces it by holding a piece of paint, and then the painting under is covered in paint. So she makes kind of like fun, interesting things like this, and I religiously watch all her videos of her making it. So it finally hit me. I need to do this. All right, I see it.
Hey, you're welcome.
It
We
took long
people on
enough.
our
I know. Thank you. I don't know
you're welcome.
why I was so rigid about it.
Because people, you know what it is? It's like talking to your, well, in David's case, like your great grandfather, and me, it's more like a younger uncle. But
yeah.
because of that, when anybody else tells you it doesn't work, and all of a sudden
Always,
now you're
always,
like,
always be aware of the younger uncles. So they're also
yes, I know
dangerous ones.
that's what they always tell you.
Yeah,
But no,
man.
it's just you just hear it from someone else, and
Friends
you're
of
just
the
like, oh,
family,
cool.
people that you know around you, they're the dangerous ones.
Don't take candy
Exactly.
from strangers. Well,
That's
Yeah.
true. You need to hear it from somebody else. Michael does this to me all the time. I tell him things, about, I mean, how to like maybe
Yeah.
like think a different way or improve
Mhm.
your life, and then he comes back 6 months later with this great article that basically told him what I told him.
Right. It's the
So
old adage when you're a kid and your mother says to you, don't touch the stove. And you're like, what do you know? But grandma or your aunt or
yeah,
your nana tells you, and you're like, Mom, they're a genius. And they look at you like, sure, let's go with that. So, it's the same
exactly,
thing. We all go through it. So,
exactly.
well,
So
I like your
thank you
stuff.
for getting me out of my own
Well
predicament.
now, and since I know Michael, I'm just going to call and go, okay, we need another interview. We need shorts. So I'll push him to send us
Yeah.
stuff.
All right.
And
Yeah.
so
And
our
of course,
fans can see it and you'll get
yeah.
fans.
And you're going to be a global star now because you've been on the Two
And
Old
once
Farts
Oh
again,
show.
man.
you're welcome. So that's all we can say.
Yeah.
When you're
What can I
famous and
say?
everybody knows your name, we can say we had you first.
Exactly. You had me from the get-go. Look at
There
this.
you go.
Yeah.
We had her from
When I was
hello.
just a little tiny little nooshy seedling.
She's just a little noosh in some place in like 2 miles away from the Canadian border, which no one's ever heard of. So I'm surprised they even have indoor plumbing. No, Michael told me they got that last week. So yeah, so it's very exciting. You guys don't have an outhouse anymore and electric. So let's see the
Good old-fashioned bucket and chuck it then, huh?
Hey, listen, that sounds like a fishing trip. So let's see the sheep, if we may.
Oh my
And
god,
let's
yes,
see the
absolutely. All right, let me untape you.
Yeah.
You have no idea. This is like
that's
a
another
whole
show too.
installation here. We got really creative. God, I duct tape you very well. There you go. We're gonna go in a little. Ta-da! All right, let's see.
All right.
My sheep. Let me see. Can I do?
You can turn your camera around if you'd like.
I can probably turn it around, but where's the button? No button. All right.
Good thing we don't edit this
like
stuff.
This.
We
Can
love
you
it.
see her?
Oh, very nice. That's on
Yeah.
the wall. Very cool.
On the wall.
Very
And
nice.
so here is the Andromeda. Wait, made out of wire.
Okay.
Oh shoot! What happened?
No, we're still here. We're we're good. We just have a single shot so we can enjoy
And
this.
here
No
is-
one wants to look at us.
And here's my lovely little sheep.
Wow.
And she's, as you see, so like here's like her little hands and little feet, her little ears, and she is knitting clouds out of
Very
herself.
pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty. So now that's your studio in downtown wherever.
Yeah, there you go. This is my table. This is where I work. Right now I'm doing. Oh, where is that? Hold on, I have something for you.
Uh-oh. I always like when we get stuff. So
Let me see. All right, so this is the second animal. He is a donkey.
Okay.
Who is going to the moon on his carrot rocket to paint the sky in stars.
That's the sort of thing I dream about.
So this
you
is
dream
the
about
drawing.
donkeys? Ooh,
going to the
Can
moon
you
on a
see him?
carrot, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, we can see him. That that donkey looks like he's doing something totally different than playing with a carrot. I'm just letting you know.
And so this is the beginning of it.
Very cool. Oh,
so
wow.
This is the rocket.
Okay.
This is the moon with gemstones, and those will be the stars.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
And where's the sheep? So and this is how the sheep was in the beginning. There you go.
Oh, just the sketch. Gotcha. Very
you see,
nice.
So I make a little sketch in my little brain, and the last one that I can show you is Mr. Hog on the hedge. So he's a French hunter.
Okay.
Mr. Hog on the hedge, not a hedgehog, but Mr. Hog on the hedge.
Yes, he's a hedgehog.
That is really cool.
And yes, this is where I do the sketching.
Very nice. So the hedgehog, if somebody wanted to buy that from you, how much would the hedgehog cost you?
The hedgehog is $3,600.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's always good to tell the prices.
I don't do the pricing. I have a friend of mine who owns who owned galleries in the city and who's done that all his life, because I don't know how to price my things. What do I know?
Right.
And I used to completely underprice it all the time, because I would, in the beginning of my process, when I would tell people, like, all right, let's do this for $1,000, then I get in my own little noosh mind, and then I go for weeks and overboard and do something absolutely amazing that it costs 3 times the amount, because I spend so much time and so much material, and it just that's why I got somebody who does this for me.
Who knows what they do for a living. That's very cool. Your work is phenomenal. I
Thank you.
It. David, when we say goodbye while we're recording, stay on and we'll go through some things with you. But for the people that are watching, down below, as David likes me to point out, is going to be her link to her website, which is phenomenal stuff there. And if you can't figure out how to do that, you can reach out to us at Two Old Farts, and we will put you in touch with her and Michael, and you can design something for somebody. But your stuff is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
I have to make a trip up to Canada next time I'm in Manhattan. So
listen, it's so beautiful up here. I tell everybody, the thing is, when I lived in the city, I don't know nothing about upstate. Everybody thinks about the city, it's Manhattan. and that's it. Oh, by the way, hold on. I did have two other things that I want to show you.
Sure.
Because like another thing that I do are illustration for kids books. I write
very
fables and I do like cute little things like this, like very simple.
Right.
And then I did this for the background of a podcast, which is
Oh,
not
I like
quite
that.
aired yet. And this is so the thing on the other side. This is supposed to be a big, and the real one is going to be a big speaker with a microphone. So
Very
yeah, that
cool.
was just like to show I do very various things if it is for some.
And they all
specific.
find you through word of mouth, or they all find you on the internet, or a combination?
Most of the time, for now, it's word to mouth, which I kind of like.
Okay, well, you just screwed that, because on November 2nd, when this comes out,
I guess I'm part of the. I mean, not
Not
metaverse yet, thank God. But
well, you're part of the Two Old Farts family now. So
yeah, you're screwed.
well, that's your fault.
That's Michael's fault. All I said is, Michael, you should get your girlfriend to come on here. So, and he's like, I don't know. He hemmed and hawed, and he says it's a good idea. I'll talk to her. And then I guess you guys are getting the studio ready. And he's like, no, we're going to do it in a month. I was like, yeah, do it when you're ready. And then here you are. And then in about a week, you will be live across the world.
Amazing.
I know.
So how did you guys started all of this? Questions for me now.
Oh, sure. So how did we start? So we had a marketing team, and we said to our marketing team, you guys need to do interviews of artists so we can bring them from the interview to our site and do things with them. And our marketing team, in their wisdom, was like, never work. No one will ever watch it. The internet's saturated. So then David and I one day got annoyed and said, screw it, we'll do it. So it started out as two old white guys. And then people were like, no, I could get a little whatever. We're like, fine. And then we started Two Old Farts Making Noises.
Guys. That's hilarious.
And that was it. It was started. And our guest one of our first guests was a gentleman of color. And he thought it was the greatest name in the world. He was very upset when we went from two old white guys to Two Old Farts Making Noises, but he still loves us.
Aww.
So that's how it started, because our marketing department couldn't get out of their own way. And because of that, now we actually have become a real podcast, thanks to people like you and our fans that watch us, and people subscribe. And we yesterday, which was the 20th of October for the people watching on November 2nd, a live auction. We're doing another live auction, I think, in South Africa with galleries. So, so we actually have become, by mistake, a real business, because it kind of started out as we're just showing people up that, hey, anybody can do this. And now we get people saying, can we do this? Can we do this? We were in Austin yesterday for a live broadcast. Doing an auction there. We've got a South African auction coming up. We've got auctions with different artists that are coming up.
Wow.
You may be one of them if you'd like. So we have all this stuff just because our marketing team at another company that we started just couldn't get out of their way. And David and I we'll just start our own thing. And this is our own thing. That's it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
we're not that old.
It's just one of those. Yeah, it just kind of worked. So
yeah, we all play off of each other.
It's so cool. I feel like like since we went through like a whole Zoom period, this is. I mean, it was like a conductor to be able to do this, because I've never been on camera with Zoom until I did my BNI group, and I never wanted to, because it's so unnatural. Like, I don't even call people; I meet them in person.
Right. So but it's one of those things. It's like it's for artists like you, and artists like we were with an artist yesterday during the live broadcast that painted an actual painting during the 3 hours, and people got to watch it and see it. But he's known in Austin, but he's not known outside of Austin, and none of them want to do like that. Like you said, I don't want to do this. They don't want to do it. So we're like, okay, well, we can do that. Like it's like, we can do this. And we can make you. Our always joke is our motto is expectations are really low. We'll get you to mediocrity without a problem. But what ends up happening is that someone will see you, or someone will find you. And we have artists that say, hey, I just made a sale because of you guys, or they sent a short and someone saw the short and called us and we put them in touch. So what ends up happening is it's just a way for people to discover people they would normally not discover. Like South African, we had a South African artist on. We had the South African curator. How did you find that person? We found them through a friend of ours, and then people are finding us now. Artists are actually, I guess, watching it, and people will reach out to us. In fact, one of the artists we had on the other day sent us an email last night and was like, hey, I want you to call. One's a photographer and
Mhm.
one is a writer, and we're going to have them on the show. So our
Wow.
artists are bringing artists to us as well because they're all like, "This is cool," and we're like, "Yeah, we're not. It's not. We're not beating you up. We're just asking you questions. Tell your story, promote you, shamelessly plug yourself," is what we tell
That's
people.
so cool.
Yeah, so that's why you're here. That's why you're here to
I
shamelessly
mean,
plug yourself.
this was really amazing for me because I mean, I usually I had this terrible habit most of my life. You know, like if I can do something perfectly, or if I'm not perfectly prepared, I'm not gonna do it, or I'm not
Right.
gonna go, or I'm not gonna like even go to like a cocktail party. If mentally I mean not mentally, I don't know. It was just like a story I used to tell in my mind. And
Right.
this morning, finally, when we drove with Michael, I told to myself, I just want to be. No, I don't want to prepare nothing. I just want to sit in. Well,
Yeah,
exactly, like just having a dinner
exactly.
Yeah.
and like
Well,
not being so hard on myself always. Enough of this. I'm
Yep.
exhausted.
I had the email that came through this morning with your website, and I didn't even
Mm.
bother to look. I didn't look at it. I don't
Right.
want to
No,
look at it
there you
because
go.
that sounds awful, of course. But what I meant by that is that Stephen very early on he made sort of this throwaway remark. He said, "Well, it's a bit like being at a birthday party," and that's kind of stuck with us.
Mm,
Oh, sorry, a cocktail party, because that's exactly how it is. I mean, it's great. I'm now sitting next to you. We have to talk, or we don't have to talk. You're
exactly.
interesting, or you're not interesting.
Oh God.
Um, you know what I mean? And vice versa. So, and that's how we tried to be with the guests. And
Yeah.
we find as well, they also, we had some people on from Austin and they keep apping each other saying, well, these guys are all right. It's okay. We were relaxed. We were really nervous. And yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is, Steve's in Austin. You're somewhere up on the
Shushin
American Canadian
She's in the
border,
Antarctic.
and
Nobody
and
even
I'm in,
knows. So,
with
yeah,
the penguins.
and
yeah.
and I'm ju- and I'm living just south of Rotterdam. So
Where
Are
the
you?
and
dikes
here we
are.
are having
Yeah.
this.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is it Rotterdam in Rotterdam where it is in Europe, or Rotterdam, America? God knows
Yes,
where
No,
it is.
Europe. He's in Holland.
Rotterdam was, yeah,
It
Yeah.
makes me so happy. You know, when we're looking at the house around here, I saw a couple of houses in Berlin. And I was like, I can't tell people that I live in Berlin, New York. Like, it's impossible.
Especially
What
if
is
you're
this?
Jewish. You can never live in Berlin, New York if
No,
you're
I know I'm
Jewish.
Jewish. I can't live in Berlin.
I know. It's not going to work.
No, it's not
So,
gonna work.
yeah. There's the little problem in the 30s and 40s, David. You might not have remember it.
oh yeah. I
So,
think I think I think I saw the movie.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think we all saw the movie.
Oh
So,
goodness.
Noosh, you are
Yes.
a delight. We want you back. But after we go off air, we'll talk about what we can do and
Yeah,
whatever. But we want you, love you. You are wonderful. Love your art. Want to see the
Thank
process
you
of
so
stuff.
much.
I think our fans are going to love you. And once again, thank you for making the time this morning and you know going with the flow with us.
Going with the flow.
yeah,
My God, only dead fish go with the flow. I keep telling this generation, stop it.
yeah,
That's a New
yeah,
York thing. What can I tell you?
yeah.
So,
Well, I'd like to then just wrap it all up then, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the show today. So it's goodbye from me in what it is again, sunny Holland, 20
okay.
degrees again, wacky
Ooh,
weather.
Wow.
Um,
that's 70
Austin,
for you people that don't know Celsius. Go ahead. So,
yeah, Stephen is in Austin, although he'd love to be in New York.
oh, I'm
And
going to be in New York in a few weeks at the grand opening of the restaurant. We'll talk
oh,
about
What
that on another
restaurant?
show. We have a restaurant
yes,
in New York.
You
well,
do?
We
you
do.
have to you have to ask Stephen what he doesn't have. That's the
Yes,
thing. But anyway,
probably. Yeah, we have a restaurant in New York called Dim Sum. I'm going to screw it. I'll just say Dim Sum Darling. It's at 135 West 50th Street, and it's Singaporean dumplings.
Oh my God, we're gonna be there in
yeah,
December. You
You
need to
come.
send Michael the
yeah,
address. I
You'll let
love
me know.
that.
okay,
You'll come.
right. Well, thanks everybody for being on the show today.
Third time
Bye,
around.
guys.
And so,
Cheers.
bye everybody. And for the people who are on the podcast, yeah, you just missed it. Sorry,
Yep.
guys. Get on to www.twooldfarts.vip.
You almost forgot it.
Um,
He's old.
yeah, well, I was just thinking. I had a brain fart, and I thought, well, maybe can that be said? Can that be said in Russian?
We're
www.20.
we're
No,
not we're not going to find out
no.
because now we're going to say goodbye, everybody.
Oh, good.